Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Attain Wealth Podcast. I'm your host, Tim Talbot, and today I'm really excited to bring you a conversation with Will O'Donnell. I think he has a really good story, so this will air 2 weeks from now. So my previous guest, John Winters, had a pretty cool story and unique because he had a story about how he kind of overcame a lot of his challenges and decided to reinvent his career. I think Will's a really great story because he's a fellow advisor, planner in the industry. And he has a great story because he finished one career and started another. And I think it's a great story. So thank you, Will, for joining me.
No, thanks, Tim.
I really appreciate it. So where I like to start is kind of what you're doing now. So tell me a little bit about what you're doing now, and well kind of reverse it in and go from where you started.
No, sure. Yeah, so it's actually just past 10 years in the industry now.
Nice.
Started spring of 2015, and 10 years has flown by really fast.
Yeah, it's kind of one of those things you don't realize how quickly time's going until you're in it.
Exactly.
And I think that's pretty interesting that you've been doing it for 10 years, but you had a whole life before being a financial advisor or planner. And I think that's a pretty cool story because for a lot of people, with where you came from, you were in the Army, Air Force, you kind of finished with that, and then you got to decide what you want to do next. And you chose this career path, and we've met throughout the years through some conferences we've attended. We're fellow coffee connoisseurs, we'll call it.
Sure.
So we were in California, and we would wake up, what was it, a 3-hour time difference thing?
Yeah, it's San Diego. Yep.
Yeah, and my first time traveling that far, and I didn't even want to bother trying to deal with the time change. So we were meeting at 5:30 in the morning to go to coffee.
6 o'clock every morning.
So yeah, we walked on the boardwalk. That's pretty cool because we went on a naval carrier at the time.
Yeah.
So it's pretty unique. So, but yeah, thanks for coming in, and I'm really looking forward to hearing your story more myself and kind of sharing with everyone who's listening or watching with us today. So kind of starting from the beginning, did you grow? I know you're actually from Rochester area, so.
No, not at all, actually.
Oh, okay. Where are you?
So I was actually born in Massachusetts.
Okay,
so I was an Air Force brat. My dad was stationed at Hanscom Air Force Base.
Oh, cool.
So I was born in Winchester, and I was actually born in the same hospital that he was born in, and his dad was born in.
Oh, wow. It's generational.
Exactly. So
nice.
But no, so I was only there for 2 years. Then we moved to Phoenix for 6-7 years, and then I ended up in Virginia, where I mostly grew up, finished high school, and then my dad retired out of Virginia. So, yeah, so that's where I finished up, and then went to college. And if you want, did you want the whole story now?
Yeah, I mean, So
okay.
So I guess being in, kind of growing up in all these different areas, was it weird moving a lot when you were a kid, or was it more?
I didn't notice early on, because I was so young. And then, I was in Virginia from age 8 or 9 till 20. So okay. I mean, Virginia was home.
Yeah, I guess maybe you're younger, that doesn't matter as much, but
sure.
I have some friends that I met in high school that were traveling all the time because their parents were in the Marines or the Army or the Air Force and just kind of went place to place. And to them it's normal. And I think that's one thing we talk a lot about on this is you are how you've grown up, and other people may think it's different, but to you it may just be normal.
Exactly.
That's normal for you.
Exactly.
So you went to school in Virginia. How do you obviously we're in Buffalo, Rochester area now. How do you end up here? Did you move up here when you retired?
All the Weiss family's here.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah,
okay.
So when I did retire from the Army, in 2014, we moved here.
Okay.
To be with all the Weiss family.
Gotcha. And how did you do the Air Force or the Army first?
So I actually started out in the Air Force.
Okay.
After high school, I tried college a couple of times, just wasn't for me yet.
Yeah.
So I joined the Air Force. No expectations. I was going to do 4 years and see what happened. So I ended up being in the Air Force 6.5 years.
Oh, wow.
And then I transitioned over to the Army because they needed pilots, helicopter pilots. And at the time I didn't have my degree. So the Air Force, you have to have a degree. The Army, you don't.
Okay. So
I went over to the Army, and then, flight school, 9/11 hit. And then I flew helicopters for 13.5 years after that.
So it's funny because when we had John, this is how everything kind of fits together. So John Winters was on. So I think you were just telling me you just listened to that one. And one of his dreams as a child was to be in a helicopter, fly a helicopter. Yeah. He still has yet to go in one. So I'm hoping he does eventually. But it's so funny how because I knew you flew helicopters just because we were on the aircraft carrier. We talked a little bit about that. But we go back and forth a lot for the people that don't know because I'm not a big flyer.
Yeah.
And when all that stuff happened, because we had that, I think it was shortly after we flew, we had that issue with the helicopter because we were in Florida, and it was shortly after the helicopter crash, and you had some pretty good insight on what happened with that. And it's just, to me, it's weird. Again, we talk about perspective.
Exactly.
You're so used to flying. I mean, you guys, I think you said you guys fly all the time, right? Still?
We do, yeah.
Yeah, for me, I'm like, hey, if I don't have to get on the plane, I'm not going to.
Yeah.
So
no, I still have that travel bug.
Yeah. So what kind of helicopters did you fly?
I flew Blackhawks.
Okay.
In the 60s. Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So, I remember as a kid, I played a lot of video games as a kid. And that was like the main one that I feel like you always used was the Blackhawk.
That's the one you always see in the movies that always crash and get blown up.
Yep. So that's pretty cool. So then you were Air Force. You went to the Army, and then you went back to the Air Force pretty much.
No, I stayed in the Army. Yep.
Got it. Yeah, because I just assumed if you were flying something, you were in the Air Force.
No, sure. So most people don't know the Army has more helicopters than the Air Force and more boats than the Navy. So.
Oh wow, that is. I actually had no idea.
Yeah.
That's pretty interesting. So how was it learning to fly when you went to the?
It's funny because the actual flying part is very easy.
Yeah.
The initial stage is very easy. It's just learning everything else that goes with it.
Yeah, there's a lot of buttons, I feel like.
All the rules and airspace and situational awareness.
Yeah, that's. I don't think I could do it. I've never been in, aside from an airplane, I've never been in a helicopter. I've never been in a smaller plane. Sure. One of my clients, he likes to fly like for fun, and he's like taking some of our friends and neighbors up, and I'm like, I have no desire. It's scary. Was it scary to you all when you were first learning? Like, how did you even come across the idea of wanting to fly it in the Army? Yeah,
it wasn't scary at all. It just, it was actually a buddy of mine. He put in his packet to go fly, so I did it as well.
Oh, cool.
So
cool. That's awesome. I just, it's just one of those things that I never thought I would do, and hearing someone else saying, "Hey, that's what I want to do," is just very different.
Yeah, and I think you really don't have time to be scared.
No, no.
So,
and then I guess maybe if you do it for 13 years, it feels like second nature.
Sure, it does.
In a lot of ways. How often, like throughout a year, would you say you're actually flying in the air?
Well, so as I said, I was in flight school right at 9/11.
Okay.
So we flew a lot. A lot more than they were before.
Right.
In combat and training and everything else. So you get a lot more flight time. Now it's slowed down a lot.
Yeah.
So.
And I think that's always one of those misconceptions about the Army, the Marines, the Air Force, things like that, the Navy, is that a lot of times people think if you go in that industry or profession, that you're kind of a soldier in a lot of ways.
Sure.
When you do a lot of other stuff. Like I have a friend that's in the Marines and he's cyber hacking. It's just so many different ways to be involved in that stuff now. And it's pretty cool.
Yeah. There's a lot of different facets to the military. And
anything throughout your time and growing up, being in the Army or the Air Force, or what you're doing now, that kind of was one of those moments where you kind of really reevaluated life, or anything you kind of.
Well, I think it's funny. I said when I joined, I had no intentions of making a career out of it.
Yeah.
And then I think it really hit me when I was graduating flight school, and that's when you get to pick your helicopter where you're going to go based on your class ranking and stuff.
Yeah.
And then I think that's when I realized that, they're going to put me in charge of a helicopter and a crew. I think that's when it really hit.
Yeah.
So
did you travel a lot? Were you local? Like, where were you stationed?
Oh no, I was stationed all over the Southeast. Korea, Tokyo, Germany, Iraq, Afghanistan.
Okay. What was your favorite place you got to go to?
That's a tough one.
Top three, I guess.
Sure. I would say for flying, probably Afghanistan.
Okay.
It's a very beautiful country, believe it or not. Yeah. But people-wise, Asia's a great place to live in.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, it's on my bucket list. I really want to go to Japan.
Yeah.
So the downside is I can't do anything but fly there. So it's a long flight.
Exactly.
So that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And then kind of on the idea of being kind of thrown into the idea that, hey, I have to have a team and fly a helicopter. Do you feel like that kind of changed your mindset moving forward? Where it was kind of like, hey, I gotta be the person I want to be now. I can't. Because I feel like there's a lot of that as you're growing up. You have this idea of who you want to be, and there kind of gets a spot where you have to do it. It's no longer a thought. It's
exactly.
Do you feel like that was kind of what happened?
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
And like you said, it's not all about you now. You're responsible for the crew, the passengers, everybody on that helicopter.
Yeah.
So
that's pretty awesome. Kind of as you went through your life as a pilot, and had the time in the Army and the Air Force. When you finished that, what did that look like to you? Did you have an idea of a direction you wanted to go?
No clue.
Okay.
No clue. So we were in we were in Alabama when I was getting my last assignment to Korea.
Okay.
And I knew that was going to be a 3-year assignment. So about that time, I'm trying to figure out what am I going to do when I grow up? Because I knew I wanted to get out at 20 years.
Yeah.
Because I could get my pension and be done. And, we had just had our son, and I didn't want to drag him all over the world to deploy again.
Right.
So I just started looking online at different jobs, and I'd always liked doing finance myself.
Right.
And I was listening to Dave Ramsey and some other podcasts.
I think a lot of listeners probably listen to Dave Ramsey.
So I was like, maybe I can just do this as a career. So I Googled, I'd heard about the CFP profession. So I Googled that, and I saw the University of Alabama had a master's program that had all the CFP classes.
Yeah.
So I signed up for that. I did that the last 2 years that I was in, knowing that this is what I wanted to do.
When you were done.
Yeah. And then I was fortunate on top of that to meet somebody back here in the local area that I kept in touch with the last couple of years.
Okay.
And then when I came back, they helped me get started.
That's awesome. So, yeah, it's nice. So did you meet them before you decided to go?
I did.
Okay.
Well, because
you were trying to find out.
Because all of Rachel's family's here.
Oh, yeah.
So we'd come here for every vacation, from Korea and everywhere else to Rochester.
Yeah. Now, how did you meet your wife? Did you meet your wife while you were deployed, or did you?
I did actually. Okay. Yeah, we met in Baghdad.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
Was your wife in the?
She was. Yeah.
Okay.
She was Army at the time.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, I didn't actually know that. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Now, what does your wife do? Does she after she?
Now she's a PA.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, she's over at Strong.
Oh, cool.
So.
Yeah, that's awesome. So, kind of on the topic of what you're doing now, 16-year-old Will, what did he want to do?
Be a pilot.
A pilot,
or a doctor, or a lawyer.
Yeah, so you got one of those done.
Yeah, I got one of them.
It's pretty interesting because sometimes we get. I mean, I know for myself, I wanted to be like a DJ or a video game designer.
Oh, cool.
I don't know if I'll ever do that.
Sure.
I guess I could DJ at home.
Yeah.
But it's kind of interesting that you went out and accomplished your dream of being a pilot.
Yeah, it was a long
and then
while to
still,
get there. But
yeah.
It worked, yeah.
And then you still had a whole other career after that, which is kind of crazy to think too. So, I like to talk about this a lot because I feel like this is a big piece of it. I think you get to a certain point throughout your life where you kind of realize that success isn't just a number, it's not just a title. It's kind of like it means something different to everyone else.
Sure.
What do you really envision? Like, what kind of success do you envision for yourself? Obviously, aside from the business aspect, what has success meant for you throughout your life and throughout what you're doing now, whether it's family, friends, a career, what does that look like for you?
No, exactly. I think a lot of it for me is the ability to spend time with family and friends and to be able to travel.
Right.
That's what we really like to do.
Yeah.
And just to have the flexibility to do those things.
Yeah, I think traveling is a huge one because you can't do a lot in some ways, and getting your child or family out there to see things is big.
Mm-hmm.
And that's one thing my wife and I have talked a lot about because sometimes you get so focused in work. I'm a self-admitted workaholic. I work a lot, and I'm home and I work, and I always answer my phone, and sometimes it's tough because I have to shut that off in some ways and take the trip and do the fun stuff that I can't do. If I'm gone, I can't do it anyways, and you can't get the years back. So, yeah, I like that one a lot.
Yeah, that's why I want to try to do that stuff early.
Yeah.
So before Finn's out of the house.
Yeah, and you just have your son.
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. Yeah. I mean, I think we were talking you went and got wing nuts. I don't know. From this area, it's a pretty good spot.
Yeah,
I don't know where I'd rank on my scale. I've never sat down and ranked my chicken wings, just because I feel like I'd have to have, if I ever wanted to rank something, I need to have them in succession.
Sure.
I couldn't eat it and then a week later go try another one. I just don't think that's an accurate.
You need a side-by-side.
Yeah, I got to be going, But they're pretty good. They're different.
Yep.
Saucier, which I like. But we went to Wing Nuts and we had that, and it was, completely forget my train of thought I was going with now, but which is par for the course. But we had Wing Nuts and it was really good, and you were talking about your son, and he does parkour, which I thought was pretty cool, and a direction for a child to go in because it's something awesome.
No,
you showed me a few videos. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And we just, all the different things you can do in life.
Yeah.
So kind of on that note, as we're talking, if looking at what you're doing now, obviously you have the work side, you have the family side. What do you like to do for fun? And stuff that's not a work or family, what do you like to do for yourself?
Well, right now I'm really big into running.
Okay.
So, I told you I hurt my knee a few weeks back, and so it's been a rough few weeks, but hopefully I can start running again in the next week or two. So I I'd always run, 3, 4, 5 miles here and there, but about a year and a half ago, my buddy got me signed up for a marathon, and ever since that, I've been hooked.
Oh, nice. So, yeah. It's on my list. Once it gets nice, every time it's nice, I'm like, I'm going to start running in the morning because I really want to. I've been good. I think we talked back when we were in Florida. I've been waking up really early and going to the gym, and it's been 6 months now, which has been awesome for me. But I want to add in a run. Yeah. I got to do it.
Just do 3.
Once I do it, I'll be fine.
Exactly.
But I think you said you're going somewhere for another marathon.
Yeah, the next one's in Berlin in September.
Okay. That's cool.
I'm trying to do all the world majors. There's seven majors to do. So.
Okay, how many have you done so far?
0.
Okay. So again, we're crossing them off.
First one.
Awesome. So kind of fast forwarding today, with where you're at and what you're doing, tell me a little bit about what you do now. So I know you said you're a financial advisor, planner. I think you're technically a financial planner is the title you go. Everyone's different in the industry. So financial planner, what do you do now and what does that look like? What does your career look like if someone were ever wondering, hey, what are you doing and should I look into doing something like that?
No, yeah, that's a good question. Like you said, there's so many different titles, call yourself a CFP or financial advisor, wealth management.
Yeah.
It all comes down to just, taking care of the client, taking care of your customer.
Yeah, and I really do think that no matter where you're at, we live in a people world. Mm-hmm. And sometimes I feel like when you graduate college, there's this kind of need that you want to make a lot of money.
Yeah.
You want to have the big check and get the 6-figure income and stuff like that. And I think as you progress through the scale of income, you start to realize it's less about the income, more about the job and the people. And if you really can find a good job that you mix both a good lifestyle, and you got to pay the bills.
Exactly.
It's the reality.
Exactly.
You can mix the both with something that, pays you a good income, but you get to do something you love. It's the perfect marriage. And I really do feel like in our industry, I get to meet people. Perfect example, what we're doing now. I met you.
I know, right?
Awesome story.
Right.
All the people I've had on the podcast so far, clients, you really get to know people and help them. And I feel like, especially in our industry, I think that's something we do a lot of.
And
you make a difference.
That's key to our job.
Yeah, make a huge difference. So on that note, we're going to do some follow-up questions.
Okay.
I need to make a note in my calendar. I have to get those cards. I got to do it. I really want to.
You want to hear about these cards?
Every time. One of these days, I'm going to come in and I'm going to finally do it. So obviously, it's the wealth planning, the podcast. What does the word wealth mean to you?
That's a toughie. Have you taken the behavioral finance course yet?
I have not.
Okay. No. That's one of the things we always talk about.
You know what? I might have.
Okay.
A long time ago.
Sure.
So.
But, so wealth for me, again, we talked about it. It's just being able to have the freedom to spend time with family, friends, travel. It's just to have that peace of mind and that comfort, really.
Yeah. No, I like that a lot. I would definitely agree with that one. And then we kind of talked about the mindset, so I'm going to skip over that one. What's one habit that you've kind of implemented in your life? So that's the book I should have put out here. The Atomic Habits book. Have you read Atomic Habits?
No. So
it's a great book if you have something you want to listen to. And the idea behind it is making small incremental changes because I feel like the biggest issue you have when you do a habit is you try to implement it. You try to do too much at once and it never actually sticks. Yeah. The book Atomic Habits basically tells you, hey, do small little ones because it's way easier to have them stick. That's how I get to the gym. That's how I really try to implement what I read. What's one habit you've kind of put in place throughout your life that you feel like is really attributed to your success that you could kind of pass on to someone else?
Wow. Well, for me, I'm a little, I'd say OCD sometimes.
Yeah, I feel that.
Yeah. So I think that, helps a lot of the drive to get me motivated to do things. And it's just like any habit, it just takes repetition.
Yeah.
To get it going and get that foundation.
Yeah, that's. Again, I feel like we talk a lot of these topics every time. Kind of on that route is the putting stuff in your calendar and being organized is a great thing because if you don't block it out, chances are you're going to forget about it. You're not going to do it.
Exactly.
Having the timing on it's huge, and I feel like that relates a lot with that as well. Lastly, what's one piece of advice you'd give yourself if you were just starting out, whether in life before you pick your career or whatever that would be?
I would say, early on, I wish I would have listened to my peers more.
Yeah.
Take that advice early on. And I hope I'm passing that on now.
Right.
To my son and to others. So.
Yeah, That's a good point, because there's been a lot of times that I've been growing up and someone's like, hey, do this or don't do this. Just kind of goes in, you do what you want to do a lot of times when you're younger, which is fine.
And that's happened in this job too, as a young advisor.
Yeah.
Older advisors would say, you should do this, you should do that. And you think you know better, and then you fall on your face. And I wish I would have had listened more early on.
Yeah, I'm a big proponent of stealing stuff as well, and in a good way, not a bad way.
Sure.
And that's a lot of what I do in life, in a sense, and I feel like that kind of fits along with that as well. As you see something that someone's doing that you like or think's good, take it. No one's gonna, why pass on a good idea? If it's a good idea, use it.
Exactly.
They're not gonna, if they really care that you're a friend, they're not gonna care that they're helping you.
No.
So that's pretty much it. I appreciate you coming.
Cool.
I think a lot of great stuff. I like your story a lot, because a lot of times people live one life, and I feel like you have two kind of almost entirely different lives that you've lived.
Right.
And you've traveled a lot, you're well versed, and it's pretty interesting. So again, I appreciate it. If you're listening to this, I appreciate you, and hopefully subscribe, like, comment, whatever. If you have questions for Will, I'm sure I'll definitely answer in the future if you have questions for him. But thanks for joining us, and thanks again, Will.
All right,
appreciate it. Yeah, thank you.